Every holiday I go on, I gain 10 pounds, 2 AT. I eat and drink whatever I want, and I often don't even set foot in the gym, and I still easily stay in shape all year round. Because I've got a plan to get it back off, and a plan that meant I could enjoy myself in the first place without worrying about it. And here's the thing most people never clock. The weight they gain year on year, most of it doesn't come on gradually. Yeah, the odd biscuit on a Tuesday and the takeaway on a Friday does add up, but the bulk of it, it's the holidays. 2 weeks in the sun, eating and drinking what they want, coming home heavier than they left, then just never losing it. The weight sits there. Next holiday comes around a few months later and they come back heavier again. And suddenly they're a stone up on where they were a year ago and they can't work out why. The holiday wasn't the problem, never losing the weight afterwards was. They either spend the whole holiday being miserable, saying no to things, riddled with anxiety, and still come home feeling guilty, or they go the other way and go mental, come back feeling terrible, and spend the next 6 weeks in a weird, vague shame spiral that doesn't result in them doing anything. I do neither, and here's the system. There are 3 parts to it: what I do before I go, what I actually do when I'm there, and then what I do when I get back. The whole thing together is why I can stay in decent shape 12 months a year while still going absolutely ham on holiday. Let's get into it. Part 1, before. 4 to 6 weeks before I go on holiday, I run a mini cut. To be clear, the reason is not for my health or some deep commitment to the process, it's because I want to get my toe off at the beach without thinking about it. To wear my linen shirt and have it fit great. That's it, that's the reason. Now, there's also a practical reason on top of that, and this one's worth understanding. I'm going to gain weight on holiday. I can guarantee that before I even pack a bag. So I'd rather go in already slightly leaner and come back to roughly where I started than go in carrying a bit extra and come back somewhere I really don't want to be. The mini cut gives me a buffer, and it means that by the time I'm at the airport, the holiday isn't something I'm anxious about. It's already accounted for. How do I actually run one? Well, that is a separate video in itself, because there are a few things worth knowing about short, aggressive cuts that most people get wrong. But the short version is a meaningful calorie deficit for 4 to 6 weeks to lose as much fat in the shortest time. Nothing fancy, just the goal is to arrive at the airport slightly leaner than you normally are. Part 2, during. Right, you're there, sun's out, and here's how I actually behave. Firstly, training. I don't plan any. I'm not setting an alarm, I'm not blocking off mornings, I'm definitely not choosing between a walk along the beach with a wife and a gym session. However, if there's a morning where I wake up and I've got nothing on and I fancy a little arm session, sweet. I'll get a session done. But it's never a priority. You spent 52 weeks of the year training consistently. A holiday is not the thing that undoes it. 1 or even 2 weeks off won't undo months of work. So take a chill pill. Next up, food. On holiday, I eat for enjoyment, not nutritional value. If I want something, I have it. If we're somewhere and there's a dish that looks absolutely incredible and it's not healthy, I'm still having it. That's what I'm there for. I can categorically say I've never once tracked my calories on holiday. Not once. And good luck trying to stop me from having gelato daily. Now, it wasn't always like this. I remember being 20 on a lad's holiday to Cabos, and I packed creatine and BCAAs in my bag, like actually packed them. As if a scoop of creatine was going to make any fucking difference to a week of eating kebabs at 3 AM and downing a ton of alcohol. I genuinely thought I was being smart about it. I was not being smart. And BCAAs are a waste of money anyway, so double loss there. But over the years, as I've gotten older, I've got more relaxed. If I have a little less protein than usual on holiday, I don't worry about it like I used to. If dinner is a bit more pasta than chicken, fine. Because I know it's just a week or so. The body is a lot more resilient than we give credit for. 1 week of slightly imperfect eating doesn't undo anything meaningful. You come back, you get back on the plan, and within a couple of weeks, you never know you've been away. But, and this is important, I'm not eating for the sake of eating. There is a difference between enjoying your food and just shoveling it in because it's there. Even if it is free and all-inclusive and you feel like you should be getting your money's worth. That's not enjoyment, that's just mindless eating dressed up as fun. Here's an example for me. I have a big buffet breakfast at 10:30. I don't mess around, I'm trying it all. You know, the eggs, pastries, fruit, the works. But guess what? I'm not then having a few hours later some lunch because, shock horror, I'm not hungry and I don't need it. For me, 2 meals a day happens completely naturally on holiday. When you're not forcing a meal you don't want. And it's a great tool that works brilliantly. Don't eat just because it's mealtime, eat because you're actually hungry or it's something delicious that you really want. Next, steps. This is the one thing I keep up without trying. I aim for at least 10,000 steps a day, which is actually easier than you think because surely, if you're like me, you want to explore new places on holiday. So go for a nice morning walk on the beach, walk to the old town, find somewhere for dinner that's 20 minutes from the hotel. You're doing the steps anyway. Don't just roll straight from your bed to buffet breakfast to the sun lounge by the pool and stay there all day. Doing the steps will help keep you burning those calories without it feeling like a real effort. It's basically the easiest health protocol in the world when you're somewhere new and you want to see new stuff. Lastly, alcohol. I don't drink, so I'll keep this brief, but the principle is the same as with food. If you're going to do it because you actually want to enjoy it. A cold beer in the sunshine is perhaps one of life's greatest pleasures. 10 average cocktails from your hotel because they're included in the package so you feel like you should make the most of it, not quite the same. Part 3, after. Right, you're home. Bags are unpacked and the scales are looking at you from the bathroom floor. This was exactly me after our honeymoon to Italy, where I had gelato every single day, pizza, pasta, and more pastries than I can count. We came home having had an absolutely brilliant time and I was 10 pounds up. Yes, 10 pounds in just over a week, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. I'll be honest, it is always a bit of a shock seeing that number and how much weight you can gain in such a short time. But I was not panicking because I've done this enough times and I know what that weight actually is. Despite what you might think, the number on the scale is not all fat. And thinking it is will either make you really miserable or make you do something stupid. A large chunk of it is water. When you eat more carbohydrates than usual, which most of us do on holiday, your body stores those carbs as glycogen. And for every gram of glycogen that you have, it pulls in about 3 grams of water with it. This will come off within a few days of eating normally. A chunk of it is food in your gut. You've eaten more than usual, that has to go somewhere. So some of that is literally just sitting in your digestive system. Also, not fat, and also goes fairly quickly. And yes, some of it, let's not be naive here, is actual fat. If you've been eating indulgently and therefore in a proper surplus for a week, it just has to be. Not all of it, but some. And that is fine, that's what you signed up for when you decide to enjoy yourself. Which brings me to the part that some people really don't want to hear. Look, you're an adult. You made the choice to indulge, which is awesome, fair play. But you have to own the consequence of that choice. Don't feel guilty about it, don't beat yourself up, just own it. If you want to be the kind of person who properly indulges on holiday but still stays in shape all year round, you have to be the kind of person who does the work on both sides of it. That is the deal. The holiday is a time to enjoy yourself a bit more. The mini cut before and after, that's the trade-off. It's a very reasonable cost for what you get. So post-holiday, here's what I do. I get back on the plan the day I'm home. Not that special Monday, the day I'm home. Even if it's a Sunday evening and I'm still a bit tired from traveling. And I do another mini cut. Short, aggressive, same approach as before. The goal is to get that weight down as quickly as possible because the faster I get it off, the faster I can push my calories back up to a maintenance. Dragging it out for months is the worst of both worlds. Be aggressive now so you don't have to be miserable for a longer time than necessary. The tool I use is the no willpower system I talked about in a previous video. Same grocery list, same meals on rotation, pre-logged the night before. You are boringly predictable and do what works. The decision making is already done. You're just following the plan you already know works. If you want that system, I put it in the description. It is free, so go and grab it. With training, just get straight back to normal. Nothing dramatic. Don't try to make up for lost time with some brutal week of double sessions. You don't need to suddenly start doing circuits or HIIT training to try and burn more calories or some other shit like that. Just go back to what you were doing. One heads up though, you might just be a little bit more sore after a week or so off. So one thing I like to do is just stop a few reps short of what I did before I left. You won't have lost all your strength and muscle. If those first few sessions are a little more tough, it's just a sign that you had a week off. It does pass. Within a week or so, you're back to normal. That right there is my whole holiday protocol. It sounds fancy, but it's not. It's a quick mini cut before you go, enjoy yourself while you're there, and then own the consequence when you're back and deal with it quickly to move on. 12 months of the year, you're in decent shape, no guilt, no ruined holidays, no panic. And that's what you want. And it is very doable. You just need to plan on both ends. If this was useful, make sure to subscribe because I put out videos like this every single week. Cheers then, all the best.